Hey guys, welcome back to Pete Punch Beef Gaming. Today we're going to talk about the AOS Path to Glory Week 3 recap. So with that, let's get started. Okay guys, we are going to start off with the game itself. So I got a chance to play one 1,500 point battle this week. I was shooting for two, but I wasn't able to make it to our normal game night. Fortunately, one of the players is willing to meet me today, which was outstanding. Super nice guy. He plays the Osiarch Bone Reapers, and we got to play 1,500 points. The battle we played was something called Power Struggle that has 5 objectives. 2 on their deployment zone, 2 on mine, 1 in the middle. You have to hold them for 2 consecutive turns. If you're able to do that, you start scoring points. You get a point for 1, a point for 2, and a point for more than your opponent is currently holding. As well as you get your normal battle tactics, and then whatever you pick for your in-game and achievement. So like I said, we played 1,500 points. I added, in this case, I made one change. I did not put the Knight Vexler in with the Apotheosis banner. I decided not to go that way. And I ended up putting another unit of Vindictors in. And then also I put in my Stormdrake Guard Drakes. I wanted to give them a whirl and see where they went. Now you might ask, hey, why did you not put in the Knight Vexler with the Apotheosis banner? And I think it really came down to I was trying to mix and match and figure out what I was going to do for 2,000 points because that's on the immediate horizon. And I just decided that he cost too much. And maybe that's a bad decision. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. Put the comments in below. I mean, he certainly can do a lot of healing. But I just couldn't make room for him right out of the gate. So he was not part of it. So I had my Knight-Imperator, my Lord-Imperator, my Knight-Arcanum. I had the Emerald Lifeswarm. I had 3 units of Vindictors. Those are 5-man units. I had my Annihilators with the shields and the Praetors and my Stormdrake Guard Drakes. That was my 1,500 points. I think it came out to 1,465, something like that. Like I mentioned, he was playing the Osiarch Bone Reapers. I believe he had 2 named characters, the Arch Cavalos Xantos and then Archon the Black, both of which were 100% terrifying when you get down to it. I was actually really terrified of his whole army. I just thought, I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep up with the damage that he's going to put out. Not necessarily the damage, that certainly is a part of it, but really more the healing and the fact he could just keep regenerating his troops turn after turn. That was my biggest worry. And with the Archon the Black, or Archon the Black, he's an incredible caster. And so I thought, oh my gosh, I don't know if I'm going to be able to manage all the magic that he's got going. But we got right into it. Given that he was a few points less than me, he got the triumph. And on one side, he set up a block of 20 Mortec Guard, along with, I believe it's called the Harvester, the Gazar Harvester. And I thought, yep, probably not going to be able to take away that objective from him over there. On the other side, he had another 10-man unit of Mortec Guard. In the middle, he had his Cavalos Death Riders, a 5-man unit, along with Archon the Black and the Arch Cavalos. And I'm trying to think. I think that was about it. He did also bring an Endless spell to the party, as well as his terrain piece in that case. He got the first turn, and he moved everything up, got an easy, quick couple of victory points for finishing his battle tactic for the round, and then I moved up. I left my guys opposite his 20-man block back on their objective. I just thought, I'm not even going to try and take his away from him on that side. The guys on the right-hand side, I did move them up so they get hopefully a charge off on the Death Riders in this case, as well as I brought my Stormdrakes forward, I brought my Knight-Arcanum forward, my Lord-Imperator forward, my Praetors forward. I did get a spell off so that they were +1 to wound on the attack roll. And then I dropped in the Annihilators so that they could also charge into the mix. And then I dropped a unit of Vindictors to harry the other objective with the 10-man unit of Mortec Guard. Shooting phase was kind of blah. The Lord-Imperator, I think, Got 2 shots in, but I think he made both of his saves, so that didn't really do a whole lot. When the Annihilators came down, they did do 2 or 3 wounds to his Stormdrake Guard, the 10-man unit. Maybe did 1 wound to his general. No, actually, I didn't do any wounds to his general with that. I rolled 2 1s, and I didn't do anything to his Death Riders. It actually came down to my Stormguard Drakes, who did some mortal wounds with their breath weapons. Nothing too notable. They did manage to pick up, I think, one of the Death Riders in that case. I charged some stuff in. I charged my Praetors in. I charged in my Vindictors. I charged in my Annihilators and my Stormguard Drakes. I had a lot of good charges. Where I did fail was with my Vindictors on the backside to get to his 10-man unit. That didn't happen. It all amounted to, I was able to put about 3 wounds, I think, on his general, who was super tough. That was the Archcavalos. That 3+ save, and then the fact that he could reduce my Ren by 1 was awesome. And so he just had a great bunch of saves. And then he also had, I think, a 5+ ward save to one of the new Ossiarch Bone Reaper abilities, which was really cool for him. And then he was also able to take advantage of another Ossiarch Bone Reaper component that allowed him to immediately attack with another unit right after he attacked with his general, since he went first with attacking with his general. And the Death Riders were split on their attacks. 2 went into the Praetorians, 2 went into the Vindictors. I lost one of the Praetorians to the horses. I didn't lose any of the Vindictors, and then the Praetorians and the Vindictors attacked back and did some more wounds, and ended up clearing off his cavalry, which was great. I cannot believe the abuse those knights took. They're super resilient, and I was definitely impressed and very much worried about what they could do. They can put out, with all his buffs, they can put out just a ton of attacks, which is brutal. But at the end of the day, we managed to take it. The game ended on turn 2, and it ended up being a victory for me. He felt like he wanted to do something a little bit different with his deployment, which is super cool, and actually gives us a really good excuse to play our next game. We're going to do a rematch, I think, a little bit later in week 4, since we're doing a week 3 recap, so it'll definitely be week 4. We're going to play at 1,500 points again, and I cannot wait to give him a game. I do have to give him credit as well. He was such a kind player. I love it when you match up against somebody and they tell you what's going on with their army. Hey, I'm doing this because of this. I'm doing that because of this. And here's an ability I have, just so you're aware. Up front, clarifies. I mean, just a true sportsman. So thank you. That if you watch this video, I really appreciate that. You were a delight to play against. At the end of the game, I came away with 19 glory points. So I guess we get 10 at 1,500, 5 because of my victory, 2 because of my general living, and then I also got another 2 points because I have the Realmstone Reserve, which I ended up getting another 2 glory points. I did not have any wounds. None of my characters took any wounds. And let's see here. I did also roll Borderlands for the territory captured, and I decided not to take that. I'm really trying to build up some glory points to be able to afford all of my stuff at 2,000 points. And so I could not afford to buy that. My Stormguard Drakes were called the Favored Warriors, and they got an additional 3 renown points. And so of those 19 points, here's how I spent them. I ended up spending 15 in total. I spent 5 on a barracks because my units are starting to come up, my total count of units. And then I got a Knight Vexler. I bought another Knight, or not another, I bought a Knight Vexler, no Apotheosis banner. So that cost me 4 points. I bought some Annihilators with my, with the Meteoric Grandhammers. So I can't wait to get them to the board. So that left me with 4 points overall. Added to my total puts me at a grand total of 13 glory points remaining. And I made some progress on Defend Your Realm. Again, I'm trying to get some more glory points, but I need another 2 ticks on that quest in order to complete it overall. Again, it was a great game, and I'm looking forward to the next time we get to play a little bit later, hopefully in the coming week. Okay, with that, let's transition to hobby. Let's see what I've done there. All right, so for hobby, I had a goal of getting 2 units painted. I didn't quite get there, although I do think I spent my time really well. The first thing I did was finish up, and you should see the picture coming into the screen here. I did finish up my Annihilators with shields. I thought those were great models. They came together super nicely. They were a ton of fun to paint. And then I assembled 10 Vindictors overall. I also assembled some more Annihilators with the Grand Hammers, and then I also assembled the Evocators. I got 5 Evocators. I'm really excited to try these guys. They have 1 less armor, so they're a 4-up save, but they've got a number of attacks. Their attack damage profile isn't super high. I think it's 1s with a -1 Ren, and then they've got a Grand Staff in there that's got 2 damage with no Ren. But they can dispel, they can cast spells as long as there's 2 of them, and then immediately at the end of their combat, they can roll 2 dice for every model in a unit that they're engaged with, or at least 1 unit that they're engaged with. And then on a 4+, they do a mortal wound. So if you're fighting 10 guys, they get to roll 20 dice. Every 4+, they're going to do a mortal wound. We'll see how that is. Are they a great unit? No clue, but they look kind of neat, and I'm going to give them a go. It's something different, and we'll see where they get to. Now, for next week, in terms of what I'm going to do with my hobby painting, I'm going to try and get my Lord-Imperatant done along with his Gryph-hound, and I'm going to try and finish up my Praetorians. The Praetorians themselves are pretty cool models. I don't see them a whole lot when you look at lists online, which is fine. I'm not a super competitive player. But they have done me some good. And at the end of our Path to Glory, our league coordinator is going to put on an Armies on Parade. Now, the goal of this Armies on Parade, I think, is just to get whatever you've gotten done, set up and displayed for folks to take a look at. Really, the goal of the league overall has been to, get people out there to play some games, build some models, paint to the best of their ability, and see what they can do. So I'd like to at least get 750, maybe 1,000 points to the table in terms of what I've gotten painted. I think if I did some math now, I'm probably close to about 500 points. And maybe by the time I get this next week done, I might be close to another 500, so it might be at 1,000 or so. My goal is to have a full 2,000 point army finished by the time I'm all said and done with that, but we'll see where I get to. I'm gonna press hard, but you never know. So that's about it for week 3 recap. I really appreciate you tuning in. Certainly I'm going to be back for week 4 and tell you how I've done both in terms of gameplay and what I've learned in the league, and then also what I've done with my hobbying time. So I look forward to catching up with you then. If you like what I'm doing, please like, subscribe. You can hit the bell for notifications. But I really appreciate you all tuning in. Our subscriber count's growing a little bit. I mean, this is really a very modest channel, but I really appreciate you tuning in to see how this is going. All right, with that, I'm going to call it, and you guys have a great week of gaming. Take care.